want to start by saying that I am not at all qualified to talk here tonight at all. Following that, I want to thank Matt and Event Santa Cruz for putting this on. I want to thank Venus Spirits for not putting out the whiskey until after I've talked. That's kind. And I want to thank the Handlebar Mustache Guild of America, which is, of course, the shadow organization controlling Santa Cruz County. I really can't right now in my dailiness tell you anything about being a non-starving artist. For those of you who want some quick proof about this, I have thus far this week worked about 42 hours, for which I will make about $80. For those of you not quick with math, I make about $2 an hour. Yeah. But there was a time where doing only my art form, I made the highest pay rate I've ever made in my entire life. So I think the best thing for me to do for y'all tonight is tell you what I was doing, how I did it, why I stopped, and what I'm doing now. So what I was doing, how I did it, why I stopped, and what I'm doing now in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Here we go. So I studied poetry for about 10 years, and I started writing poetry to fuck with my best friend, who was the editor of my high school's literary magazine and read Ezra Pound for fun at the age of 14, and I thought he was full of shit, so I tried to get awful rhyming poetry into his literary magazine, past his editorial board, and then sometime 4 years later decided that I could write a good poem I just don't want to. So then I woke up having graduated with my MFA in poetry in an incredible amount of debt and not sure what the hell I should do with my life. Joseph Campbell told me to follow my bliss, and I didn't have any good sense to listen to anything else. So I was living in Northampton, Massachusetts at the time, which is halfway between Boston and New York and covered in 11 inches of snow right now. Suckers. And I saw this guy, it was one summer, sitting out there with a typewriter, and he had a sign that says poems, top of the head, $1, bottom of the heart, $5. And I was like, that is awesome and terrifying as fuck. I am not going to do that ever. Fast forward a few years, I find myself chasing a dream. Oh, good Lord. Chasing a dream all the way to Santa Cruz. And I'm living at this crazy art center that is the Revolution. If you haven't been to the Tannery, I highly recommend it. I've got like, I could talk about 6 minutes on that as well. And I was chasing down this dream of I want to start an arts education philanthropub. You know, I'd been throwing all these crazy art shows, these huge poetry shows. We'd been packing bars, and I'd work, hours and hours and hours and hours. And, the end reward was that I'd sit at a poetry show that I liked, and I'd shake a hand with the bar owner that I just made a bunch of money for. So I decided there's got to be a better way to do this, and that's the dream I was chasing down. But I got out here, and I was surrounded by all these artists, and it was a super inspiring place. And I had done 4 years of a project called 365, where you write a poem a day every day for the entire year. To clarify, I failed all 4 years in a row, but I wrote about 150 poems more per year than I would have otherwise. I'm working out here, baristing, hating every minute of it, like this close to knife wounds and customers every day. And I stumble on this old 1928 L.C. Smith typewriter, and I think of this guy that I saw in Northampton, and I decide, what the hell? Why not? So I decide to haul it downtown. Now, at this point, this was before I was living at the Tannery, actually. I was living in a shed up by Dominican Hospital, which people have described with the adjective Santa Cruz. And I don't know if you've ever tried to carry a typewriter from Dominican Hospital to downtown. These things are fucking heavy, man. Anyway, so I for the next 7 months of my life, I gave my notice at my job, and I was just a poet full time, and I'd write people poems on the spot by request on any topic they asked me for. It turns out if you write shitty poetry for 12 years, you learn a thing or two. So I guess my big message as an artist is whatever you do, love it and never stop, whether or not you're good at it. It was awful for so long, so truly awful. And the only work I've ever published now, because I really don't give a fuck about publishing, it seems a little bit narcissistic, to be totally honest, and to put a little controversy in here. But the only thing I've ever published is the shitty rhyming poetry in my high school's literary magazine, which you can still find if you dig deep enough through Google. Please, for the love of God, don't. You can also find 100 poems I wrote on the spot by request in April. All right, I'm out of time, and here's why I stopped and what I'm doing now. Why I stopped is because I wanted to start an arts education philanthropub, and that exists right here in Santa Cruz at the Tannery Arts Center. It's the only one in the country. And what I'm doing right now, I've been told I'm the least eloquent when I try to get people to come to the art bar. But this is the God's honest truth. I'm going to pitch to you heavier than anybody else today. Right now, I'm wearing myself pretty ragged on this project. You know, I'm in there a ridiculous number of hours a week, quite literally working until my hands bleed, trying to make this a thing that I think people want to see. And we're at a bit of a pivotal point. So our mission is to donate 30% of our profits to fund arts education in Santa Cruz County schools. 80% of food service businesses go out of business within their first year. We're in our 14th month. We're over a big hump. I really hope we become your favorite coffee shop and that we become a sustainable resource for arts education in this town. We're up at the Tannery Arts Center. We're 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We've got live arts events going every night of the week. We got Daniel Namire is actually up there playing right now. And there's going to be live music going until 10 tonight. So if you're around later, that's where I'll be. Thank you.